Hey, welcome to another very, very exciting episode. Happy Saturday. Hope everyone's enjoying their weekend. Let's get it. All right. Welcome to another great episode of the Real Deal Podcast. I'm your host, as always, Courtney Harden. Happy Saturday, March 15th. It is St. Patrick's Day weekend. If you celebrate, happy St. Patrick's Day. Hopefully everyone that is out there stays safe. You know, it gets a little crazy with St. Patrick's Day weekend. So I hope if everyone enjoys their weekend, stay safe out there. But yes, a Saturday, March 15th, Women's History Month. The show, the series is still going on. Had a lot of incredible guests here, a lot of incredible women on the show. So I'm bringing in another incredible women in this space, returning guest, podcast family now. It's her second time on the show. So I'll be bringing her on very shortly. But before that, you can follow the show on all podcast platforms, wherever you consume podcasts, whether it's Apple, Spotify. We're on Roku channel, BS3 Network, BS3TVLive.com, YouTube, and all the social media platforms. That is, I'm on X, Twitter. I still call it Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. So we're on all those platforms as well. So let me bring in, like I said, podcast family back to the show. I wanted to get her back on, have a great conversation because the first time we did this last year, we had an incredible conversation. And I was just telling her before we start recording that it was almost like we knew each other from the beginning and everything too. So I'm glad to get her back on. I have T Dubs in the building. Taylor Woods back on the show. Sports reporter, does a little track and field, a little bit of everything. So you can follow her on T-Dubs _ on Instagram. So Taylor, welcome back to the show. Really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me, Courtney. And just like you said, we felt like it was like we've known each other for years. We were
Yes.
just talking, just wrapping it up. And
Mm-hmm.
that's why I was like, of course you can have me back on. So it's so glad
Yeah.
to be back. Thank you
Yep.
so much. And yeah, let's get into it.
Yeah, let's get into it for sure. Yes, like I said, it was we had a great conversation last time, and we've been friends. It just the the connection just felt very real and authentic, and just in that short period, and we just was just chatting it up like we knew each other. So I was like, yeah, for Women's History Month, I got to get Taylor back on. So yeah, and also before you news production assistant, you said sports reporter, all the things. So you do a little bit of, like I said, do a little bit of everything in the sports media world. So yeah, thanks for coming back on. But how have you been since the last time we talked, and how things are going for you?
Yeah, definitely. So last time we talked, um, I guess you can say I was in like a little bit of a rut, a little bit of a rough
Mm,
place. Like I said, I was in a job that God had essentially just dropped in my lap. And then as I'm there, I'm just, trying to soak in everything. News production assistant at WJLA, don't know how it happened.
mm,
I can do is thank God for it. And as I'm there, I'm just like, yo, like there's a lot of there's a lot of cool people here that are doing what I'm doing essentially, like Natalie Spalla, Scott Abraham. Shout out to them. Since then, they've been grooming me. They've been mentoring me as to how I can essentially be where they are, if
yeah.
not somewhere else. And so I've just been in a grind, like really in a grind, really, sorry, my dog, really in a grind. And recently I just got baptized February 1st.
Okay, congrats on that for
So thank
sure.
you.
Yeah. Oh, they get frozen. Oh, I think we lost Taylor. Hopefully, we can bring her, get her back on here. See if she can get back on. All right, we're gonna remove her. See, add her back to the stage. Might be some connection issues. So, yeah. So she was just explaining what she's been up to. Here we go. Ah, there you are.
Okay, cool.
Yes, you are back on. You are back on.
Okay, great. Yeah, technical difficulties.
Yeah, that happens. Hey, we know this. We're part of media and all this, so we know how these things can broadcast and all that. So no
Okay,
problem at
cool.
all.
So back to my yap. Um, I don't know where.
Might be frozen again. It looks like there's some technical issues. It's all right. Wi-Fi things, we get it. We'll try to get her back on. Hopefully she can jump back on here because we gotta have this. We definitely want to have this conversation for sure and everything too. To see if we can get her back. Let's see. Well, while we are waiting, check out all the previous episodes of. Here we go. Let's try it again. Yep,
Hi.
that. There you go. Yes, you're here.
Okay. I'm doing it on my phone now. I don't know what's going on,
All
but
good. All good.
hopefully it won't come down out again.
I can hear. I can definitely hear you. Okay, I
Can you
think is
see
that.
me?
Yep, I can see you too. Yep.
Okay, great. We love technology.
Yes, that's it.
Um, so like I was saying before, just essentially giving my job search to God, just giving all my worries, all my troubles, and just letting His plan
Yep.
work out in me and through me. So now I'm just in a holding pattern and essentially trying to grow my relationship with God. I've been in my word, um, been giving up certain things. So I'm doing
Mhm.
Lent. So I gave up social media, and I'm giving up carbs. So I'm on a low carb deficit,
Okay.
um, and essentially just off social media completely. And I think that in that time, so I think I'm roughly maybe a weekend, maybe 2 weeks in, and I feel good.
Yeah.
So I'm just cutting out all the distractions, all the what's the word? Comparison.
Mm. Mm.
Because roughly what I would do is I would go on to, different sports reporters pages and essentially like look at what they've been doing and see how I can, essentially compare myself to where they are.
Gotcha.
And now that I haven't done it, I'm more in tune to myself and in tune to what I have to do and what Taylor Woods has to do.
Okay.
So yeah, that's just pretty much what I've been doing and working out. I've been in the gym.
Okay, all right, doing your thing with that. All
Yeah.
right, yeah, yeah, for sure. No, no, we were talking before we started recording, and we were just saying how much putting God first is the main thing, and it's I'm gonna take words from my guy Jalen Hurts. He said we keep the main thing,
Yeah.
and but that's it because I think you're right. I think it comes first, putting God first, letting Him be diligent and it said in your word, be diligent with patience because His plan is His plan. It's not our plan;
Mhm.
it's His plan, and He will move you to where you need to be. It might not something we might not understand. It might not be something we think. Oh, I don't know if it's going to be it. This is it, but yeah, it's just it's like practicing patience, practicing that being diligent and obedient. And
Yeah.
I'm very, I mean, I'm excited for you in that journey too, because I think we that's what we all need anyway. Is that
Mhm.
uh, that to let God do his plan, to let him work, and just being patient. I know it's hard for us. It's hard for us to do that. It is.
Yeah,
It's hard for us to be patient, but if we stay in our word and stay having God first, everything eventually works out
definitely.
in the end. So, but I'm very I'm very very excited for you in this journey, for that journey. And you said you cutting out distractions. Me and my wife, we do it's called Psalm Assembly. We do that in the first month of the year with our church every
Hmm.
year, and we cut out social media. We cut it out for a time frame, like we'll
Hmm.
cut it out from midnight to the noon the next day. That's
Yeah.
like it's fasting basically, and we cut out all the social media because it can consume you. It can, like you said, we're comparing ourselves to somebody else. We could be scrolling for hours on TikTok
Yeah,
and
definitely.
whatever and get caught up in that and caught up in there and things like that. So we do that for the first month. We probably should do it a little bit more too because
Hmm.
it can be a distraction for sure.
Huge distraction, Lord.
Yeah, for sure. Because I remember when I even reached out to you, and we always talked on social media, and you said that you were you cutting out social media, and I was like, I respect that big time. I mean, for real, and just to clear the mind, that's another thing that it does,
Yeah,
and because it can definitely be some negative. There's a lot of negativity in social media, and you say, hey, just email me, and because you still want to do the show, which I'm grateful that you still did it.
yeah,
Uh, that you're still doing this. And so I was like, yeah, for sure, I can definitely, email you, and that's how we communicated. So yeah, it's good. It's good sometimes to step away from social media anyway. Like I said, it can be
yeah.
so
Just take a
toxic.
break from the world,
Yeah,
honestly.
take away from the world. It can be so toxic with everything. And I know people think, oh, it's politics and stuff like that. No, it can be toxic with sports, media, trying to find jobs, uh,
Yeah.
everything. So, and
Mhm.
you're doing your job search. How has that been going? You say you're putting God first and letting Him work. Putting that plan in place. But how's that been going for you with the job search?
So far, it's slow. It's
Mm,
really slow.
yeah,
Just trying to be okay with where I'm at. Um,
right.
Trying to like I have a reel and it's not the best. It could be better. However, I'm like, okay, I know that I know that what I have is good and being just okay with that
Yeah,
is, something that I'm working on is like send it out regardless.
yeah,
Regardless of what it
yeah.
looks like, regardless of how many in studio things you've done, in the field stuff you've done, how many packages you've done, send it out regardless because
Mm,
someone somewhere is going to be okay with where you're at now. And they're going to
right.
see the potential and they're going to see that you have what it takes to be the biggest and the baddest. And so,
Mm,
um, just keeping that at the forefront of my mind that someone out there is going to see you, someone out there is going to accept where you are right now, but you have to accept where you are right now. You have to
mm,
be okay in the moment and be okay with, yeah, you're not a Taylor Rooks. Yeah, you're not an Andrea Carter. Yeah, you're not a Maria Taylor. But someday you will be. Someday you'll be bigger. And that's what I just keep telling myself and keep telling myself. And I'm not comparing myself. It's essentially just seeing them and being okay with where you are.
mm,
It's not a
mm,
comparison. It's not a comparison because I don't want to say I'm comparing myself to them because I'm not. It's just seeing other Black women and seeing other women doing essentially what you want to do and just knowing that you're going to get there regardless. You're going to
yeah.
get there. It's not oh, I got to start where Taylor Rooks started, from the bottom of where she started. No, because everybody's path is different.
Yeah.
And essentially, you're going to get to where you want to be in due time, in God's time. So
Right. Right.
sending out my reel, even though it doesn't look the best, I'ma still send it.
Hmm.
Um, Somebody's gonna like it. Somebody's gonna tell me, "Hey, go out there and find me a story on shopping bags and why they're not using um plastic anymore." And then
Right.
we'll see where you are. Perfect. So that's where I am right now with that.
Okay. All right. No, no. I think, and that can be a good like advice too for other people that's trying to
Mhm.
find their path or find their way. I like what you said about yes, yeah, the Maria Taylors, the Taylor Rooks, and others that you're like, yes, okay, great. They're doing it. They've done it. And we enjoy what they do. We respect what they do. They're incredible, incredible women, incredible black women, especially.
Mhm.
And I love what Taylor Rooks has done, and she continues to put that forward. But like I said, her journey is different from Taylor
Mhm.
Woods, and with Taylor, he said yes, but I'm going to be Taylor Woods, not Taylor Rooks, not Maria
Yeah.
Taylor, not
Mhm.
whoever the next person is. You want to be
Yeah.
Taylor Woods, and I think
Exactly.
so. Yeah, we all have that, especially in media. And I'll just stick with sports media. We
Mhm.
all want that. Okay, I want to be this. I want to be where this person is. I want to be where
Yeah.
that person is, and we get kind of caught up because even for me, like with the podcast, I want the podcast to be on this level, but I'm like, okay, I'm
Mhm.
just working into what like I said, what guy wants me to put where he wants to put me at, that plan. Yes, you put in your work and you put your reels together and the content and all that. So you're
Mhm.
doing that, but someone out there is going to see it,
Yeah.
especially if you put it out there. Like you said, your reel. You said it might not be. You don't feel like it's the best, but you're like, hey, I'm gonna put it out there anyway. It's gonna reach someone.
Right.
So I think that's I think it's yeah yeah, I think it's cool. And I've seen some of your work since we've connected back last year, and you do incredible work. So
Thank you.
yeah, yeah, for sure.
Mhm.
And so yeah, someone will be out there, maybe Taylor Rooks is watching this now. Taylor, if you are watching this,
Hey,
hi.
girl.
Hey, what's up? Yes,
Right.
for sure. We both are fans. We both enjoy what you do, and
Mhm.
continue to do that hard work. And Maria Taylor, what's up too? Yes, all the incredible women that are doing their thing in
Yeah. Hit me
media.
up. Hit me up.
Yeah, yes, hit us up for sure. We looking for jobs on in that. If you guys got some. You guys got a lot of clout, so you
Yeah.
guys
Right.
can really help out. But no, but for real, it's but you're right. It's all about just again being patient, as you said, and just continuing down with. You're gonna continue to do the work,
Mhm.
so eventually um someone will see it and everything too. So but yeah, let's get into a little bit, like you said, of how the sports media how it has what it is now
Mhm.
today. We talked about some of the toxic things of social media and everything, and but just the job search itself. Because I had forgot who I had the last I did so many shows now. Someone had said that the way the media landscape is today, you
Mhm.
just don't. It's it's hard. It's there's job layoffs. The market is not what it used to be, and things like that. And that's why it is hard to find something that you're looking for that aligns with what you believe in and things like that too. But what do you think of the media landscape, particularly sports, of what it is today?
Um, I would say that it's evolving.
Hmm.
Um, Slowly but surely, she's evolving. I always call things she. Um, she's evolving in a way that I feel like it looks different for everybody.
Mm,
It's only I feel like sports media is in the eye of the beholder. So, based off of your perspective, you can see it negatively or you can see it positively. Um, for me, I see it in a positive light because there's a lot of people who are now speaking up, like speaking out.
yeah, yeah,
We used
yeah.
to hold a lot of things in. We only used to have these in-person conversations like, oh, I was just talking to my best friend yesterday, or I was just telling this person yesterday. But it's like now people are like, oh, I'm going to tell this to a general audience and I don't care who sees it, but I know
Mm,
that I need to get it off my chest.
yeah,
And
yeah,
whether it's within a personal realm or it's in a sports realm, it's in a news realm, people are speaking out to what they feel on now. Everybody's opinion is out there. And now that could be negatively. depending on how you look at it.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's an outlet for people to now speak up and speak out about certain things that we tend to hold in. Like this new generation, Lord, we are doing crazy. We
Yes.
are speaking up now, and
Yeah.
it's fun to see because we're like, where was this back in the day? You know?
Mm-hmm.
And now it's I like it personally. I like to see what other people are thinking, and I love to see how the mind works in other people's perspectives. So when it comes to the sports media section, it's like now there's a lot of new outlets like podcasting. A lot of people are getting into podcasting, whether that's virtually, whether that's just me talking into a microphone, whether that's just
Mm-hmm.
me recording a video on my phone, and we upload it to the media. We're just like, sure, go ahead.
Yeah.
Or we keep it private. Um, and we just you know send out our stuff to a small audience or small group of people that we're comfortable with.
Yeah.
But I would say that she's evolving into something beautifully.
Mm. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's a lot of, you're right. There's still a lot of positives when it comes to sports media and media in general.
Absolutely.
I know there's some the news uh the news aspect of it is it's it's different because you got politics, you got a lot of different ways, but there's some good, there are still some good, because there's a lot of good, there's a lot of great, we just talked about, there's a lot of great people that are in media that are
Hmm.
putting in work, that has voices, that wants to be heard.
Right.
I think that is a positive. And social media can be good and bad. And we talked about like TV taking a break, taking that mental break from it for so much, because it can consume you. But I think Twitter has become very toxic. It has become very toxic, and the only reason why I use Twitter is because of the podcast. I just promote, and that's all I usually do. I don't even engage with it much anymore. It's more of that, but then you still have those stories that are being told by people. I think that's a big plus. And you get different articles you want to read, you get reels you want to see, and everything too. So I think those are positives when it comes to that too. Job searching, that's another. LinkedIn's a big one. That's been evolving for jobs and things like that. You say Instagram it could be both good and bad. So there are some good positives, as you said, when it comes to the sports media, meeting people, still networking, connecting. I think that's still a positive as well.
Yeah, definitely. And I think that that's the good thing about like you doing this and reaching out to different um groups of people,
Yeah, yeah.
who essentially have a different perspective on the whole thing, because now you get to see how other people are thinking, how other people are using the space.
Hmm.
And I think that the use of the space is also um, something that should be looked into, or something that should be expressed more, or researched more, is how different people are using their platform. Like, is it for good? Is it for negativity? Is it for positivity? Is it for just you wanting to express yourself, just for you wanting to get out, demons, people per se? So,
Yeah. Yeah, that's another thing too, for real. Like, yeah, and then when people say they want to start podcasting, want to start doing, I say just do it. Like, don't be
yeah.
shy, because you said people are outspoken anyway. So,
Mhm.
and yes, the microphone, getting on these lives could be something, because the words that people say, some take it to heart, and it could be great, it could be dangerous.
Mhm.
That tongue can be a very, very dangerous thing.
Yeah.
You get on that microphone, but if you're using, they said, you have a passion for, it could be sports, it could be, you want to have passion for weather, you want to have passion for cooking, you want to have passion for whatever it is, politics, and you start talking, just you hit record, you might do a 5-minute video.
Hmm.
Great audio. I think that's great. I always say, find something you're passionate about and just do it. So I think those are some good things when it comes to the media part of it. And even like you said, you've been in the newsrooms and working production
Hmm.
on that side. So you've probably seen and produced newscast of oh my goodness, so much negative news, so much. And that was another
Tell
thing
me
that
about
a
it.
lot of people say, I'm sure, yes. And that can really, he said, mess the mental aspect of it. You see some the deaths, the drugs, the drug bust, and all
The
these
plane
things. The
crashes.
plane crashes. Oh my goodness, so many of that and everything too. So yes, and you said you've been behind the scenes, seeing it front row of that too. Talk about that, the news side of it too, where we have our president that talks
Hmm.
about fake news and the media. He's changing the landscape of how media is consuming things. He handpicking his own White House correspondent media
Yeah.
now, where he could get away with saying whatever he wants. But then you had these plane, you said the news of the plane crash. We had the plane crash here in Philly, well, about a month ago, and that was devastating. And the one in DC and other times, like, oh my goodness, like the news in itself. Talk a little bit about that what you've seen from where that is with how media covers the news.
Yeah. So when I sit there and I'm, essentially in the control room, and
Yeah,
um the anchors are in the studio and I'm just backstage, and I'm just, whether it's scrolling the prompter, whether it's doing graphics, or whether I'm out there on the floor in itself, I kind of tune it out,
okay,
because
yeah,
like I said, I've been there for a year. February 20th was a year for me working at WJLA and working at one of the top five news stations in the world. So the type of material that we have to put out has to be accurate, it has to be well written, and it has to be correct. Well, accurate,
mm,
like I said before, and it has to be um, on time.
yeah,
That goes along with the accuracy. But it's just sometimes we'll be talking about a story, and then the next thing you know, there's a breaking news.
yeah,
And I try to tune it out, and I try to not read what I'm reading on the prompter. But
yeah.
then it's just like sometimes you get caught up and you're like, my God. Like,
Yeah, yeah, yes.
it's just you don't know what's gonna happen next. And like I said last time we spoke, every day is not the same for me,
Mhm.
which is essentially why I fell in love with the job. But it's like every day is not the same, but every day is not peaches and cream either.
Yeah,
Like sometimes you make it those fun news stories, and our producers try to do that more. Like, we're not going to overload our audience with the bad. We're going to throw in a video of the pandas arriving in Washington D.C. We're going to throw in um, some cute and cuddly animals that news our viewers send in, and I think that that's just something that we do well, because of all the things that's going on in the world. It's just, like I said, I try to tune it out. So I don't pay attention too much,
yeah.
but sometimes it's like, God help us all.
Yes, and that's,
Mm.
that's all we can say for sure, because
All
there
you can
is
say.
yeah, there's so much negative news, and it's yeah, because even when I turn on the local news, and just to be aware, and then that's
Yeah.
what it is. We tune that out, and I turn on the news. First 15 minutes is just like, oh my goodness. So then I turn it. It was overwhelming. So then I turn it, and he said they tune it out. So my pastor, he just said that he has to, like we all just say, okay, we're just gonna. He's tuning that out. He doesn't watch the news like that, but he follows a lot of different things. He's got to stay aware. You want to stay culturally aware and
Hmm.
and everything, because then he still can, you could preach against that, or you could, these type of things, or just to keep people aware, like, hey, these things are happening. It's real life. We
Right.
see it. We're you're around it and things like that. But we try to keep a lot of that stuff that you said, trying to tune it out. And you said
Yeah.
you worked in the newsroom. It's like, oh my God, I'm sure for you it's can be too much. Even tuning it out. But that's where it seems like that's media has it's evolving, you said, which I agree with. And but then you still have that the other side too, where you just got to kind of stay above that, all the
Hmm.
negative. negativity as well. But I'm gonna, instead of I'm gonna transition into some track and field. Let's
Okay.
for real. Let's talk a little politics. I just got a couple more before I let you go.
Hmm.
Like I said, always enjoy having you on, and let's talk some track and field. Like I said, I know that's that's one of your passions for
Yeah.
sure. Are you still? I'm sure you're still following and keeping in tune with the some of the track and field news. I mean, it's the what the they're still doing indoor track,
Hmm.
but we do have the Grand Slam Track League, and we talked about this before, and it's
Yeah.
almost here. It's getting ready to start like next month,
April.
actually.
Hmm.
Yes. So, how excited are you for this? The Grand Slam Track League that Michael Johnson is the leader of this.
Yeah. So I, it's a funny thing because yeah, I ran track, but I don't follow it at all.
Right. Okay.
And
Yeah.
and the thing is when I was in high school, even when I was in middle school, I wouldn't really follow the numbers and the times because
Right.
that's just how I wasn't operate. Like I don't operate that way. Like I don't like I said before, I don't compare myself to anything but myself.
Hmm.
The only person that I need to be is me. The only person that's on the line with me is me. And this is essentially what I tell my kids because now I'm a coach. I coach at my alma mater, my high school, Riverdale Baptist. Whoop whoop.
Okay. Yeah.
Um,
Big shout out. Yes.
yeah, and I
Yeah.
coach long jump. So I'm just like, don't worry about who's on the line with you. All you have to do is worry about yourself. It's you and the track.
Mm.
And I tell them, don't get caught up in the numbers. Don't get caught up in, oh, who's number one in the nation and all that crap. Because, like I said before, you'll essentially compare yourself to them and then you'll be disappointed when you don't hit that mark.
Yeah.
But what I used to do is when I was in college, I'd be like, okay, I just jumped 20.5. Let's say that. And I'm like, all right, let's jump 20.6 next. All right, let's jump 20.7 next. The only person that you need to beat is yourself.
Mm.
And I'm gonna wrap this up. It's coming to a close. But I don't follow it. Like I don't follow it. I don't know what's going on. Sometimes I might, dibble and dabble here and there. Because I do pay attention to my friend's podcast,
Yeah.
Track World News. Shout out to Colin. Hi, Colin.
Yeah.
Track World
Yes.
News will come up and he'll essentially give me what I need to know that's going on in Track World or City is Mag. Shout out Chris Chavez. Whoop whoop.
Yeah. Yes. It is Mag for
Um,
sure. Yep. Both of them.
so
Hmm.
um, so that's where I will get my stuff, but I'm not, oh, who's doing this? Who's doing
Yeah.
that?
Yeah.
Don't
Right.
really care. However, shout out to Michael Johnson. I think he's doing a great job. I think he's doing essentially what the WNBA is doing, what Nafisa Collier is doing.
Yeah.
And
Unrivaled. Yes. Yes.
yes, like I love that. And I think that that's what the sport needed, which is why I say I think that this is what track needed. Track needed a space that was just their space, not something that, oh, when the Olympics comes up, now here's everybody watching it.
Yeah.
No, like no. Um, and I think that that's what he's understanding that track needs their own platform to where it's just track all the time. Um, Now, what I am mad about Michael Johnson, and I hope you're watching this and I hope you see this, is there's no field events.
Yeah.
Now, we love it because we love to see people running. We love to see the rivalry. We love to see the Noah Lyles against the world essentially. We love to see the City McLaughlin against the Delilah Muhammad's and the Shamir Littles, and we love to see Masai going up against Tia Jones or um, I can't think of her name off the top of my head, but yes, but we want to see the Tara Davises. We want to see the Quanisha Burks. Like
Yeah.
they just had a big rivalry. They just had a jump off not too long ago,
Yeah.
and
Yep.
we want to see that. But I understand, and essentially for me as a field eventer and a passionate long jumper, I think that some of these field events, we didn't get the coverage that it deserves. We had to go to
Yeah.
another platform. NBC had, okay, here's the main stage, but we had to log off of NBC and go to NBC field events or NBC
Yeah.
2, NBC 3,
Yep.
like when it was
Yeah.
Peacock, when the Olympics was on Peacock. I had to back out of the track events
NBC.
and go to another broadcast for me to watch long jump. I don't want to do that. I shouldn't have to do that.
Yeah.
We should
Yeah.
we should also be able to we should also be able to showcase the rivalries that go on the field side.
hmm
Um, but yeah, that's my little spiel.
No, I love it. No, no, I like that because you're right. I think this is it's great.
It's
It's excellent.
amazing.
It's
Mm-hmm.
amazing that they're doing. They need. And I was just talking to someone about this. Like track and field. And I think we were talking about this actually, and we just said they just need more platforms. So Alexis Ohanian, who just I think they're going into their second year. What
Mm-hmm.
he's running the all female track league, the all women's track league. So he's doing that. Um, Athlos. So we got that.
At those.
Uh, so that's great.
Mm-hmm.
And now that should expand. And I thought that was it's in New York City. Thought that was
Mm-hmm.
so now we said Grand Slam track. This is their first year.
Mm-hmm.
And you're right, Michael Johnson. Maybe he's saying, okay, we're gonna do sprints and just
Long distance.
the long distance first, and then maybe eventually. But you're right. I think the field events they just take a back seat even in the Olympics, which is crazy because
We always get the short end of the
yeah,
stick.
yes, it's like people want to see that because it is popular. It's part of it's track and field. It's called track and field.
Field,
So
exactly.
yeah, the field portion of this uh needs it should be on the main stage too, and everything too. So maybe maybe he will go to after this he'll get okay. We need a field events as well. Yeah, put it in because it's a 3-day event. And like
Mm-hmm.
just like it's a whole weekend because
Mm-hmm.
it's in Philly. I'm gonna get my tickets soon.
Yeah.
It's here May 30th
Mm-hmm.
to June 1st. So I'm looking forward to that. And but it's in Jamaica in April 4th,
Mm-hmm.
Miami and in Philly. I think that's in LA in June.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Yep. So there's four four places, four destinations,
Yeah.
and I think it is great that he's doing this and giving track and field another another platform instead of the Olympics, instead of just the worlds,
Yeah.
because we us as track fans in general, we love to see and people that cover it. They just need more outlets and more networks to
Mhm.
promote, and I think this is good for I think it's good for track and field.
Yeah, definitely. And just to piggyback off of um what I was saying, like it doesn't even have to be because I know that field events can be quite tedious to watch. Um, but even if it's just like, oh, okay, well, we have all these competitors.
Yeah,
We have the people that signed up with Grand Slam. We have their competitors. You get two jumps to show off, two jumps to, do what you got to do,
yeah,
and boop bop bing. Like it doesn't have to be something so like long. But I know that for a fact that it does take us a couple of jumps to get warmed up. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, yeah.
Um, but it's just we always get, like we said, we always get the short end of the stick, and we always come up short. But like I said, it's evolving.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things. You never know what might happen. It may not be Michael Johnson himself because he wasn't a field eventer; he was a sprinter.
Mhm.
Um, it might take Tara Davis to do something. It might take um, Brittany Reese to do something. Like all of the people that I used to look up to: Brittany Reese, Tiana Bartoletta,
Yeah.
um,
Yes.
Tara. Now her and her husband, Hunter Woodhall. They could now do something together or branch out and create a space for just field eventers.
Yeah.
But you never know. Like I said, it's evolving, and every day's a new day. Every day, somebody might pop up with an idea and make it come to fruition, like Michael Johnson did with Grand Slam.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
mhm,
For sure. Yeah, I agree. I think they need to add. They have to have everything. If it's track and field, it should be track and field. But like you said, this is a start,
yeah, it's
and
a good
I'm
start.
glad that Michael Johnson his and it's more need for the athletes too to get more sponsors, to get more money, and
Hmm.
that's what it's about. It's they want to pay just like he said unrivaled
Hmm.
with the women's basketball, which was I loved it,
Yeah.
unrivaled and They're getting be to the end. I think the playoffs is this weekend.
Mhm.
Yeah, and I've done some media stuff with Unrivaled, and just to hearing them saying all the the marketing and the promotion they've been getting and the investors. I mean, they got so many investors with this to make this league, to try to make this league more than just okay, this is just 1 year. No, we're trying to,
Yeah.
and and then they'll find out okay what worked, what didn't. We'll get more players involved. We'll get more
Mhm.
teams. And it was exciting, and we'll maybe have a bigger venue. So it's got to start somewhere, and I think this helps.
Yeah.
This helps track and field tremendously, especially if this becomes a success.
Hmm.
It'll be really good for all parties, for track and field, for the media, for the athletes.
Yeah.
And that's the most important for the athletes, and more
Mhm.
people will participate. And the lineup is crazy.
Lineup is
It's insane,
insane.
right? Oh my
Uh,
goodness, the lineup is like just to say some of the names, because some people know the big names, so I'll just
yeah, yeah,
name
yeah.
some of the big names: Cindy McLaughlin, Roney, Gabby Thomas, Jasmine Camacho Quinn, Talitha
Mhm.
Diggs, Fred Curley, Brittany Brown, Melissa Jefferson. Uh, I mean Tamara Clark, the Kung Fu Kenny Benderek. There's a lot of Oblique Seville. Yeah, like this, Dina Asher Smith. I mean, I could go on and on and on.
My girl
Uh,
Masai.
Masai, of course, yes, Masai
Mhm.
Russell. Yeah, the list
The
goes
list goes on.
on and on. I'm just looking at because I was a Daniel Roberts. I mean, yeah,
Mhm.
I could keep going. Shamir Little.
Mhm.
Yeah, these are some huge names. Dalil Muhammad is in. Yeah, all time greats. CJ Allen. Yeah. So yeah, it's
The list goes on for
yeah,
like
yeah. We
forever.
can we can just name Alexis Holmes. I mean, we can just keep
Hmm.
naming them. Yeah, but it's gonna be. I'm looking forward to it. Like I said, I'm gonna try to get tickets to go at least a day or two, maybe the whole weekend. See how much they are.
Yeah.
To hopefully you're here to cover. You can cover it
Right.
too.
I
That'll be
might. I might.
fun.
I might pull up in Philly.
Yeah,
Philly
let me
not too
know for
far.
sure. Yeah, let me know,
Yeah.
and we'll link up or whatever there and meet each other in person and
Yeah.
everything. It'd be cool. Yeah, I'm
Hmm.
definitely going to get tickets for the weekend for sure
Yeah. For
and
sure.
everything too. All right, two more and I'll let you go. What about okay? You just talked about coaching
Hmm.
and that you're doing. Talk about that the coaching. You still that passion that you have, and you said you ran
Yeah.
track, and now
Mhm.
you leading into coaching. Talk about how that all came about.
Yeah. So, when I first got out of college, I got a job working at my friend's security company, or my friend's dad's security company. Shout
Mhm.
out ICS. Um, and they were the first person to give me a job. And I was like, yo, like I need more. I need more money. I'm
Yeah,
sorry. So
need some
then I
more
reached
things to
out,
do. Right, right.
right? So then I reached out to my coach my high school coach, and I was like, hey, do I need a long jump coach? They was like, yeah, we do. I said, perfect.
Yeah.
So went on to do that, and then I got the job at WJLA, and I had to back off a little bit because
Mm,
during because right when practice started, I had to go to work.
mhm.
So fell off of that for a year, but now my schedule has changed. I have moved to the 4 a.m. shift.
Ooh.
Um, yeah, so I'm up at the
Yeah,
crack of dawn. Not even at the
yeah,
crack of dawn. Um, I'm up at 2 a.m. and come home at 12, which is amazing. And I was like, okay, cool. Now I have the rest of the day to myself. I want to get back to coaching. I missed my kids. I missed being that mentor. I missed just being that outlet for them because um, I know that for me, when I was in high school and I was going through, the track community or the track phase and trying to figure out if this is what I wanted to do in college, if this is something that I wanted to take seriously.
yeah.
You can't always talk to your parents about things. There's certain things that you just can't tell your parents because they're essentially putting all this money into you, and they're like, you're gonna run track, do this, do that. I'm
Yeah.
putting you in AAU, and I'm gonna put you in summer camp, and all this other stuff. Um, but there's some things that you just can't always tell your parents because then they'll be like, oh my god, they want to comfort you, and they
Yeah,
want to,
yes.
maybe they'll get on you for it. But just being that outlet for my kids and just letting them know like, hey, anything that you want to talk about, you can come talk to me. It's a safe
Mhm.
space. um and like my mom always tells me, like, I have a friend hat and I have a mom hat. I have a coach's hat and I have a friend hat. So if you need me to put my friend hat on, I'm gonna do it. We're gonna talk about it. We're gonna figure out a way through it, and then we're gonna get back to work.
Mm.
And they love that about our relationship. Like it's not just always coach to athlete. It's a mentor to a mentee.
Mhm.
And whether that's mentoring them through track, mentoring them through school, academics,
Right.
mentoring them through life, because they're at a point of their life where they're navigating the world. Like that
Yeah.
teenage years, oh
Hmm.
boy, it was a
Yeah.
struggle. And so I'm like, I've been there before. This is what helped me. It may not help you, but here's an alternative to what you think or what the media tells you, what the world is telling you to do. Here's a way to cope with things differently. So just being there for them is honestly it heals me, because like I said before, I wasn't able to speak to anybody. I didn't have anybody to talk to about certain problems.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had my mom, she was the best. She's like my best friend now, but um certain things you just can't tell your mama. so
Yeah. Yes.
so now it's healing me to see them come to me and trust in me with certain things. So yeah, then like I said, it's a passion of mine. Long jump will always be
That'll be your thing.
it will
Yeah.
always be my thing. Sometimes I try to
Mhm.
get out there with them and try to do a little something, something, but then my
Yeah.
hamstring tells me no, my hips, my knees. Yeah, I'm retired now, but I try to get out there and do it with them. They're like, Coach Taylor, if we do this, can you jump? Can you do a practice jump with us? And I'm like, of course. Let me stretch a little bit, warm up. So yeah, it's amazing.
I
Yeah,
can
I
I
love
can
it.
hear it. I can hear it in your voice of passion that you
Hmm.
have for these kids, and it's great because uh is like you were saying earlier. So this younger generation, they just need. I mean, I'm not saying all. They're gonna say don't put them all in a box, but
Hmm.
the direction and someone to just to give them some guidance,
Yeah.
and to help them to be able to, like I said, navigate the teenage. They're teenagers, so they're into they want to. They just need a little bit of guidance, a little bit of help, a little push,
Hmm.
to not just you said on the track, but off track too, off the track, life lessons and
Hmm.
you said you've been through it, you've seen it, you've done it. So they just if they they listen. I think that's wonderful as a coach. I used to coach basketball. My nephews were younger, my older nephews now when they were younger, and I coached them for 4 or 5 years, and it was great to coach them, but just teaching them outside of just basketball, outside of that, just like off the court things too, just like I said, school and education and
Hmm.
life in general. Now they've all grown up. Some of them got kids, and now it's like, yeah, they I guess some of the things that they didn't learn, they're using. So I think that for you as a coach, probably that's the main thing of you're just giving them the tools to a little bit of knowledge, a little bit of tools,
Yeah.
and to use when they really eventually find out what they want to do.
Right. Yeah. And
Yeah, for
then
sure.
sometimes it's even sometimes I'll slap them on the wrist and be like, hey,
Yeah,
no.
yeah, they need that too. Yes.
You need that stern too. Like,
Mhm.
it's, Lord, these kids. They are so hilarious. Oh,
Yes.
they crack me up every day. But like you said, it's just being that extra outlet that sometimes they need. They can call me at any time. Like they used to call
Right.
me when I'm at work and be like, hey coach, hey, you coming to practice? No, I'm at work.
I
No.
can't. Nope. Can't come right now. But
Uh-huh.
we can chat a little bit. Like I
Yeah, we'll
mean,
chop it up on my break. If you need me,
yes.
I'm always there. So
Yeah, for sure.
that's
Oh, that's great. That's amazing. Put someone that's at least mentoring kids to, you said, just to be better. And in this world, like we talked about earlier,
yeah,
what's around them and surrounding them, I feel for them. I think when I was in high school and I was like, they didn't to deal with. Yeah, yes, we did. We had to deal with things, but these days we didn't have social media and all that. So it's
right.
like, wow. And I don't know
You need a
what
different
we would have
outlet.
done. Yeah, I don't know what we would have done if we had social media. My goodness, it would have been about as what it is today, probably even
Mhm.
worse.
More,
I would
yeah.
say, yeah. So but yeah, that's amazing that you put it, doing that, being that mentor for him. So, all right, here's the last one. I did say that, but this is definitely the last question.
Okay.
I'm enjoying this, but the last question, as all my guests that in this month, Women's History Month, kind of alluded to it a little bit. What does that mean to you on a professional and personal level?
Yeah. Women's History Month, what does it mean to me? Is it means resilience, it means persistence, it means strength, it means self growth, it
Mm.
means admiration, um, it means et cetera. Um, but it's looking at those who paved the way. It means so much. It honestly, like, there's power in this month because a lot of people say like the world was built off the women's back. Um, but it's like we've gone through a lot. We've had to push through a lot. We had to endure a lot. And for us to see us come out on the other side, it's like, yeah, like we did that. So, um, not recently, well, today, like I said, I had a workout class. So I go to this brick class. Shout out Relentless Training.
Mm.
We love Cardi. So yeah, at him at Relentless Training. He's a brick class. He's a trainer. He does this brick class that I've been going to for the past 2 months now, I believe, even more.
Okay.
And he had this lady come up and speak, and she was just saying how it's okay to be not okay. It's okay to want more for yourself. It's okay to, look at yourself in the mirror and want to change. And I think that that's what some women don't see, and that's what some women don't hear a lot, is that it's okay. Like we always feel like we have to be, I'm strong, I'm this, that, and the third.
Right.
I'm a big bad woman. But no, it's like it's okay. Like we've had to put so much on our backs and we've had to endure a lot. So it's okay to just let your hair down and do something for yourself. You know, how we have to prioritize our health, how we have to um look at ourselves and tell ourselves that we're beautiful, we're
Mm.
loved,
Mm.
because we don't get that a lot. Um, and so even for us telling ourselves that it's cool. And I think that seeing, in the past what we've had to do and seeing that where we are now, like
Right.
we can get to the bag, but we can also let our hair down and be just a woman. And
Mm.
we can be strong. We can be stronger. We are strong. It's
Yep.
just, let's prioritize our mental health a little bit more because we don't get that a lot. And we definitely don't get that out the media. So
Yeah. Yeah.
so we got to do it ourselves. We got to stick together as a community, and women, we are a community. Like, you got some girls that come in the brick class, and that's, may not look like everybody else. May not be able to do everything, but you got the girl next to her be like, come on girl, you got this, you got this here, do it this way so that you still getting in what you got to get in, but there's
Yeah.
an alternative. So that's what Women's International Month means to moi.
Okay, I love it. I don't have nothing to add to that. So that is dope. No, that's really dope. I like what you said in that, and like I said, I wanted to celebrate you. Not just again, my last guest, Serena Morales, who used to work for ESPN and does some other things like that. She said it's Women's History Year, and I said yes. Okay, that's it right
Okay.
there. Yes,
Okay.
and like I said, I don't just celebrate the women that I have on my show just this month or anything like that. I try to do it throughout the whole year, throughout, every day. So you are celebrated, you are highlighted, all those things each and every day. So I wish you nothing but the best. and the journey, and I mean many blessings first and foremost. And yeah, it's so I'm glad, like I said, I'm glad to get to connect with you and network with you a little, and just in that little bit of time that we've known each other. And I really appreciate your time, your efforts, your and all the things you got going on. So again, many blessings to you, and thank you again for doing this. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, Courtney, and thank you for all that you do for us as women, all for us as Black women, all for us as anybody who's in the sports media sanctity. We appreciate you. Yeah, and shout out the Real Deal podcast. We appreciate you,
No, I
and I
appreciate
appreciate
it.
you. Thank you for having me on.
Yeah, thank you for doing this again, and we'll have to do it again sometime. Maybe when that Grand Slam track league start, we'll dive more into that, and that'll be the season. I mean, the season
Yeah.
will be basically starting next month. The spring is here, so yeah, we'll definitely do that. So, all right, well, you can follow Taylor Woods whenever she gets back on
Also,
Instagram, social media. If you don't, you don't. That's
right.
it. All good. But yes,
Mhm.
it's T-Dubs, TEEDUBBZ _ on Instagram. That's the only outlet
Instagram,
you
Twitter,
usually. Twitter,
everything.
yeah,
Mhm.
Twitter. So it's all the handles there. T-Dubs with a Z _ with a
Mhm.
Z. Yes. So follow Taylor Woods, and like I said, definitely gonna have something in the works. Like I said, on God's time, it'll happen. So
Amen.
yeah, I always keep God first, and I really appreciate you for real.
Thank you, Courtney. God
Uh,
bless.
yeah, God bless you too. You too. All right, talk to you soon. Have a good one.
You too. Bye bye.
Bye.